Hello, this is Will from GeneralWallStreet.blogspot.com. I'm here to review the trades made on May 18th, 2012. So today was the Facebook day, but it wasn't all about Facebook this morning. I did a lot of trading on my TD account, so let me just get straight to the trades. One of the first trades I was in Foot Locker. Not much of a trade. I was just kind of waiting for a potential pullback play on the open. It kind of it happened, but then I was stopped out pretty quickly. So on this move right there, Walmart, I kind of liked that it was bull flag near yesterday's high, and I saw an inside bar in here, which I took. But as you can see, there wasn't much follow through. My measure move for the inside bar, which one was it? I believe it's this one. My measure move was 80 something, and as you can see, it never got close. So eventually, I just hit out and got stopped out of the rest. I had size on this on my TD account, but I hit out for a small gain. I mean, I just wanted to kind of unload my shares in preparation for Facebook, so I didn't want too much. CRM, this thing kind of got me pretty upset because I was looking at this initially as a pullback play. What time frame was I looking? Where is that? Okay, so pullback here, and I saw this inside bar there, or getting prepared for one, and I put my stop right below this wick here, and as you can see, this was me. This one little wick here was me, and right after I got stopped out, boom, it took off another 2 points from there. So that was very frustrating. If I done it, few more cents, then I could have got a really nice gain, but instead I took a small loss on here. But I did give this another try later on my TD account. It was a inside bar play. I believe it was this one. It worked out initially, and I didn't take the trade. I should have. I was up maybe like $300 at some point, but I didn't. So eventually, I just kind of got out for a small loss again. A small gain on my TD account in preparation to the Facebook IPO, which started at around 8. Another trade I was in Visa. This one I'm kind of upset about because of what I did. So I knew Visa was weak because I had puts and I was shorting it all of yesterday pretty much, and I wanted to short this pullback, and I was just waiting for this to happen, but I kind of jumped the gun here, jumped the gun again here, maybe jumped the gun again right there. So that was already really bad, and once it kind of did this wick, I had no choice but to start hitting out because it was just a dumb move. I shouldn't have preemptively shorted. Even though I knew something like this was going to happen, I should have just let it happen and find the setup at that point. And of course, the setup eventually came, and it's exactly what I liked, which is a inside bar at the apex of a pullback. And look at this. It's pretty nice risk versus reward too. So this to me was the A trade. And although I was loaded up here, hit out some here, hit out some here, once I saw this, I got into a supersized position, extra size position, really big position, kind of a revenge trade, make back the money I lost here position. I don't know what you want to call it, but I felt like this was the play I was waiting for, so I wanted to hit it like I should. Probably in hindsight, I it was a tilt trade. I did way too much size, but I got bailed out. It worked out. I started covering on the way down and was flat at the hole 114. Could have had another opportunity for a little pullback play and would have been some great continuation trade here. But again, I had to get ready for Facebook. So let's go to Facebook. What do we have? What do we have? Let me go to a shorter time frame. A little shorter. Okay, so there was some complications off the open. It was supposed to open at 8, and it was late. During this time, I was on multiple accounts just getting ready to set my orders and buy. And then I hear on CNBC that some people are getting 100% of their orders filled. Meaning, there's the one person would try to request for 20,000 shares of Facebook right when it opens, but in reality they only want like 200 shares, so they over allocate to get that small amount. But then they find out that they're going to get 100% of it, so they're like, okay, that's not good. I don't want all of it. So that just tells me that there is a ton of sellers right off the bat. So I quickly went into my accounts and I changed all my orders and I did lowball limit bids from like 30s and 35s, and that was just insane. So right when it opened, I mean, it got high tick right here, but that didn't really mean anything because it's not much happened at that point. And then boom, it was on the way down. And this entire time here, it was just so choppy and had absolutely no direction. And at this point, I was like, okay, this is not going to be a great day yet. So let's just wait until it settles down and does its own thing. And finally, it did. It held the 38, and there was a ton of volume being done here. And I actually picked up about 500 shares right there on my TD account. And as it was going up, I picked up some more on my Lightspeed account. And at this point, I switched to the longer time frames. So it started to look a lot better. I sold early on the one I picked up here for a quick 80 cent gain. I only had 100 shares in Lightspeed, and quick trades. Then once it kind of shot up here and then started pulling back, I was looking at this pullback right here, this 5-minute inside bar, and I was just getting ready to hit it, and I was watching the tape and I noticed that 40-50 seemed to be a level. So I bought some because of this 5-minute inside bar. So that was my first lot. Then as it started to trade within this candle, I noticed that 50 seemed to be a level, 85 cents seemed to be a level. So I started to accumulate there and there. So at this point I'm averaged 600 shares. But it shot up, came back down, shot up a little bit, came back down, but it just couldn't go up any further, and it just had trouble trading above 50. So I offered some out at the 40s just to kind of make the trade, because if it was gonna go, it's gonna go, but it was having a lot of trouble. So I kept holding, and then finally it broke through the 50s, and I had an order for 79, which was filled. So at this point, I have 200 shares, and I still have my 500 shares from down here. Then once this thing happened, this inside bar here happened, I was contemplating adding size in both accounts and having below this inside bar as my stop. But I just didn't really trust the order because it kept going up and then back down, and it was just pretty crazy. My problem was in the back of my mind, I thought that once it breaks above 42, that thing was on this way and it wasn't going to go back. So I had this long bias as the reason why I'm in the stock is for a chance that it will just freaking go. Okay, so let me get rid of some of these lines. So right right here at 1050 with this really wide candle, this guy right here, some craziness started to happen. It finally showed some strength around 150, and it started to catch some bids, and it started to shoot up higher. Then suddenly, my e signal, it stopped updating. The chart just stopped. There was a slight pause in the level 2, and all of a sudden, boom, it made this wick, and it came right back up. And on this way, it just stopped me out of the rest that I had, and I was lucky to get filled at 4120s. I know some people got filled at 4180s, and I know some people who couldn't even get out of their shares fast enough. So it was just ridiculous. At that point, I knew this was not the day to get big. It's done. Facebook is done. If I'm gonna trade it, it's gonna be super small, tier 1 only, and no more. Um, at this point, I also got rid of the shares that I got here because the trade to me was over. So yeah, I did make a pretty nice amount because I essentially held it from 40 to about 40. So 500 shares. So that's about what 2 point almost a thousand here. But at my high point, like in this area, I was probably actually no in this area I was probably up like 2 grand. But I gave back quite a bit because of this freaking move right there. But I kept watching. 40 seemed like a next logical place because there was a bunch of bids. It was very very thick around here. So I did give that a try, but as you can see, it did not work. So I got stopped out of it. Then around 38.50, I gave it another try, and also there I got stopped out. Then finally, once it got back to 38s, I did give it another try, and this time I went like insanely long. But I was just watching all the bids getting hit, getting hit, getting hit. It was like I don't know, 15 million shares on the bid, and they weren't getting filled fast, but they were getting filled. I mean, the biz was just nonstop getting hit, and those numbers, they were dwindling down. It went from 15 million, 14 million, 12 million, 8 million, and finally, once it got down to like 4 million or 3 million, my mind was like, if it gets hit, that thing's gonna tank. So I decided to just forget it. You know, I didn't want the hard money. I wanted easy money, like the trades I rather do. So I decided to just get out, which turned out to be a really bad idea because it shot up 40 cents here. If I had all the shares that I had right here, this was a $1,200 mistake. But you know what? You can't beat yourself up over those things because it was just really nasty day in Facebook, and I was talking to some trader friends and stuff, and it's like you want to be involved in Facebook because it's like the hottest thing to do, and you never know if you're able to catch a bid somewhere and this thing just takes off, sort of like how LinkedIn was. But in reality, time was better spent elsewhere. I mean, here, look at Apple. I mean, look how nice this is. Pullback play with an inside bar right here. And then another one, pullback play with another inside bar right here. These are trades that I normally make. So instead of wasting my time with this mess that happened here, and especially right there, why wasn't I doing a relatively easy trade in Apple? So, here's another inside bar, which you would have been able to add. And look at this, I'm very confident it hit the measure move easily. So right there is a quick what, 30, 37 to about, that's 4 points. So I mean, you just gotta pick and choose your battles. But overall, I still had a pretty nice day, an above average day. But it it just could have been a lot better. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and you have a great weekend.